In every maneuver, cures that. Oh, look at it! Hello and welcome to Motion RC. Stuart here at Motion RC Europe. It has been a while, but the sun is now shining and we have dusted off the cobwebs of the winter and spring is definitely in the air. And what a way to start the spring season then with a follow-up flight review of the brand new FlightLine Corsair. Now you're well aware of the spec by now. If not, check out the link below this video. It's on the website. It's the standard 1600mm model for FlightLine, Warbird model for FlightLine, which means it is running on our very popular 5000 milliamp hour Admiral pack. Brilliant pack for this model, and on that note, in terms of setup, I've just got this pack all the way forward to the back of the firewall. That's what I love about this series of models and this pack. They just go together so well, you don't really need to think about it in terms of CG positioning. Push it all the way forward and you are ready to go. Now, there is already media out there on the Corsair. What you will see on, we are a club, so I need to keep rolling with the punches here. What you will see with this Corsair, the obvious thing, is that it's not in the standard scheme. Now, again, I keep saying this and I will continue to say it. The great thing about these models as they come out the box is that they are painted, yes, but their decals or decals are not applied. They're not pre-applied. You get some decals in the box, great if you want to go with our recommendations. However, it's great to treat it as a blank canvas to go nuts with your own creativity. Now, I haven't gone too far in left of field with my creativity. What I have done though is painted the cow yellow, and I've got these beautiful Royal Navy decals or decals, if you like, from Cali Graphics in the US. Now this actual scheme, as a historic scheme, it is based on 1850 squadron that was in the Pacific at the very end of World War II in September 1945. It uses the exact same blue as was used on the Royal Navy, on the US Navy Corsairs at the time. So it was a very easy modification in terms of this custom scheme. Very simply, I masked off the area around the cow because the full side had a full yellow cow, and then sprayed that yellow, and I applied the custom decals. Now again, as I said, these are from Cali Graphics. These are vinyl, very similar to the ones that you get included in the box with FlightLine, but that much better quality. So I can't stress how good Cali Graphics are. If you're interested in doing your own custom scheme, you should definitely check her out. There's going to be a link below this video, and as you can see, they look phenomenal. They apply very, very easily, and they are great quality. And the great thing is, they really set the model apart from the standard ones out the boxes. Now, there are a few other very, very slight modifications I've done to this. Well, it's more detailing, if you like. We're going to turn this over and get some close-ups in a second, but you'll be able to see there that I've actually painted the oleos and the wheels. I managed to get a colour match from a local hardware store. I had to get a colour match because here's a little side story for you. I use Blend for the masking, which in itself is very, very good, but I forgot the one cardinal rule with Blend. It's originally very, very tacky, so what you need to do is put it on your trousers a few times just to remove that tack, then lay it on the model. I didn't do that, and surprise, surprise, it brought some of the paint up. However, I got a reasonably good paint match from a local hardware store. I used that same paint to paint the wheels and the oleos here to make it a little more representative of the full size, and it actually looks very good for it on the ground. I'm pleased with that. Modification wise beyond that, really nothing. It's pretty much, well, it is exactly stock out the box apart from the color scheme. Now, one final thing I will add on the scheme. Yes, this is a historic representation of 1850 Squadron out there in Japan. Now, a little side story again. The Corsair was first flown off of carriers by the British, by the Royal Navy. Now, what they had to do, they had to clip the wings of their Corsairs because simply they had much smaller carriers than our American friends. However, you'll notice I didn't go that far in clipping the wings. I could have done it if I wish. It could have been a relatively easy modification, but that's because this is actually based on the full size that is currently flying with the fighter collection out of Duxford, and hey presto, they use the original full-size wing. So in that respect, it's actually a very scale representation. So that's enough about the model and the scheme itself. I've flown this model a few times now. I'm very happy to say that it's a peach. I really enjoy flying this one. The oleos work especially well. We're going to probably concentrate a little bit more on the landing and taking off on this because it's got a very big and nicely almost scale sized propeller. The Corsair in real life had a very big propeller. It just means you need to commit to a little more rudder input on landing on takeoff just to counter that torque. But on those landings you'll see the oleo is working very well, and we'll come to that in a little while. So that's essentially it. We're going to take it out now. We'll take it through the whole routine, and we'll show you just how much of a peach this thing is. I would say it's on par with the Tiger Cat from the other FlightLine models. It's better than the Spitfire in my opinion, but that's my opinion, and it looks stunning. And definitely this yellow, or whatever custom scheme you decide to add to it, if you add some additional color to it, it'll really help. And I think, Tom, you'll agree, it really stands out in the sky now.
Yeah, it will be nice.
It looks fantastic. So let's get on with that. All right, so we're about ready to go back out here on the FlightLine now. You will notice some change, and that is that I've now got a GoPro on my head. This is a little experiment. I may look silly, but I want to try and give you guys a little bit of additional coverage when it's very, very close by. We are only a two-man team here at the moment, myself, pilot, and then Tom Cool, very good friend of the company behind the camera there. He does his best, and I'm not saying, Tom, it's not good enough, but it's always good to have a little help. Not only that, what we've been experimenting with is a little run cam on the model. Now, normally I like to put these run cams and action cams somewhere where there's plastic so it doesn't lift the paint with the Velcro that I use. Unfortunately, there's no real hard plastic anywhere near the CG on the Corsair, apart from the gear doors. So we've put it on there. Now, it's not going to give you a great view for takeoff or landing, but once it's in flight, it's quite a cool dynamic shot. So we'll give that a go and hope that works out. We'll just let this guy fly, then we'll go up ourselves and do the whole routine for this follow-up flight review of the FlightLine 1600mm beautiful, beautiful Corsair. Alright, so let's take off. Now I'm going to talk you through, as always, what I'm doing on the sticks to give you an idea of how I fly. Hopefully that will help you guys too, and we'll talk through all the maneuvers and everything else. So one thing to note, as always with tail draggers especially, I always go into high rates on the elevator and hold full up elevator, as you can see there. That is my full up elevator, by the way. Speaking of which, let's do some of this. I always do full up elevator with rates off for taxiing. Gives me maximum authority. It keeps that tail down on the ground, which is great. That is my high rates. This is my low rates. As you can see from neutral, that is not a lot of movement, which is exactly how I like it. It flies like a marshmallow, which is how I like my warbirds. There's my aileron throw in low rate, and that is high. Again, I'm always flying in low pretty much. Flaps, they're a thing of beauty. Look at those things go, really, really nice. And they work very well, and we'll come to that in the flight. I have got a little bit of right trim to counter the rotational torque there. I've said before, it's a big propeller, and it looks great, but nothing ever comes for free. You always have to compensate with a little bit of right rudder, and I actually find on takeoff especially. But let's talk through that right now. So, into full rates, taxiing out. One thing to keep an eye on. You right there, Tom?
Yep. I'm going to stand here.
Holding full up elevator. One thing to keep an eye on, do not be so trigger happy on the throttle. It's got a lot of power very quickly, and it won't bite you necessarily. It just means that your takeoff will not look that good. So what I'm going to do is take off, holding in full up elevator as I go, low rates that is, and then easing off the elevator and keeping in some right rudder just to counter the torque, taking off, and I'm going to do it with mid flaps. And that was off very, very quickly, actually far quicker than I had anticipated. Gear goes up, I'm only at half throttle now. Coming around using a bit of opposite rudder to keep the nose up, that's right rudder there. And now I'm going to level off, check that the gear's up and the doors are closed. Yes, they are. Got a little critter there below me. I'm going to turn in before him. I know he's turning in with me. Okay, well here we go. Fast pass left to right. This is full throttle. Very, very smooth. Now look at that power up in the climb. Endless power, which is really nice. And I'm just going to kick the rudder in at the top there, and then low roll rate down. You can see even in low roll rate it's very authoritative. This is all no power right now, no power at all. Now gradually increasing power, kicking a little bit of left as I do. And what I'll do a circuit in front of this guy and then get in a different pattern to him. So one more pass, Tom. A little bit of opposite rudder. Yeah, great amount of power. I think it's a little bit faster even than the 1600mm Spitfire, which I like. So let's explore the basics. Does very, very nice rolls, rolling over there. That's slow rolling for me. I'm not banging the sticks, nice and scale. I'm going to bring it in, Tom. I'm going to do a loop in the center here.
All right.
Okay, level wing and pulling up. You can keep them really, really big. Ease off the elevator there. Reduce power at the top and bring it round and then I come out a little bit low for a nice pass. How's that looking, Tom?
Great.
Opposite rudder there.
Good
now,
ride.
I'm in the sun right now. I don't know how that is for you, Tom, but I'm going to do a bit of a Farnborough pass. Farnborough pass is an air show pass. I'm going to bank it over and then put in opposite rudder. It's almost like a knife edge. There we go. Actually, that wasn't nice. A very good one. I apologise there, viewers. That was not my best. I wasn't so prepared. I need a bit more rudder in that one. How's that looking, Tom?
Yeah.
Alright.
It's good.
Okay, let's bring it around again. We'll do one more fast pass this way, nice and low. Yes! Very, very steady, just what you want. Easing off the power in this turn. I'll come back around and do that Farnborough pass again, Tom. So it's just a bit of a showboating pass. And then a bit of rudder. There we go. Really get to see it. That must look nice.
Yeah.
Right,
that's brilliant.
Okay, now, James, I know, talked about you've got to watch the slow speed on this. You have, it's true, but it's very benign. So I'm going to slow it right down and show you the stall at high altitude first, or high-ish altitude. I'm pulling full up elevator, and it starts to wobble, and then it will eventually drop a wing, but it's still very, very benign. Now, we'll come on to that in a second, because that's very important for the landings and taking off, something to keep note of. Tom, I think a little bit of inverted flight, do you think?
Yep.
Okay, let's roll it over. Well, should have done that with more power. There we go. Now that's at half throttle now. I'm going to open it up, ease on the elevator. Only a fraction of down elevator needed to maintain, which tells me the CG is really good. I'm at the full power now. Tom, I'm going to do one last lower pass at inverted, then we'll roll out of that.
Okay.
So I'm at half throttle now, easing with the elevator. How's that looking?
Great.
Very scary. Yeah, scary for you and me. No, in all honesty, I'm only scared because I got other planes around me and they're a little bit distracting, so I hope that's not coming through too much on the video. Now, the model itself is very, very steady. Now what you can see, Tom, I think you can see it there, that scheme really sticking out, isn't it?
Yeah, the yellow is
You really know what way is forward with that yellow on the cow. I'm going to do a roll now. So this is low rate roll. Again, that's just how I like it. I'm going to bring it around again and do a high rate roll. Granted, it's downwind, but you'll see the difference. A little bit faster, but again, it's a warbird, so you don't really want to be going ballistic with this. It's very, very nice though. Right, gears coming down. There is a bit of delay on that, so watch for that. Now at this point, I've got mid flaps. Then as I come across the threshold and a little bit more, I'm going to full flaps. Got to keep the power on and then let it sink in and then flare, reducing power, flare, bit of a bounce, bit of a carrier style landing, I'll say there. I noticed that my power was dropping off just a little bit. I don't believe I had a fully charged pack in that, Tom, school by error. These things happen. So I'm going to quickly put another pack in, and what I really want to do is just do touch and goes, because it does touch and goes, the Corsair does touch and goes with those oleos so well. And one thing I've been working on in the previous flights is just trying to make the landings as scale as possible. So we'll get into a little bit of that when we change the pack. Is that right with you, Tom?
Good.
Let's do that. And we're back. As I suspected, I only had a half full pack in there. Very silly of me, but there we go. With the pressures of work and life, these things happen. This is a fully charged pack. Now on that, I will say, I'm getting actually about 7 to 8 minutes. I do like playing around with the energy management, and I stretch it out. I'm doing a lot of touch and goes, but with mixed throttle use, you will get 7 to 8 minutes, which is fantastic. Yep. And on some new packs that we've got coming soon, you'll get even longer. But that's for another day. All right, so again, I'm up into full elevator and mid on the rudder, just to give me a bit more steering. I am going to put mid flaps on, just because I like it. And let's see if we can get a more scale takeoff this time. Holding full up on the elevator, as I said before, and then correcting with right rudder. Slowly apply the power, because it's got a big propeller. And let the nose come up. That's better. Gear comes up. Now that the flaps have gone up, keep a little bit of opposite rudder there, so that's right rudder there, just to keep the nose up as I pick up speed. And Tom, what did we say here? We were going to concentrate on ground handling and the like, right?
Ground handling, hammerhead.
Alright, well first of all I'll do that, because it looks cool. And we'll do one more pass, because in this sky especially, but actually, you know what, even in a grey sky, that yellow really helps. This is a slow pass, no flaps. Beautiful. On that, Tom, I'm just going to deviate. So one thing to note on this Corsair, it's a good note, it flies slowly very, very well. You've got to coordinate with some rudder. This is mid-flaps now. Remember, this is a 1600mm warbird with a 5S pack, so it's no small model. And with those coordinated turns and mid-flapped, it's beautiful slow, which is really, really nice. Just got to be aware that it will drop at some point, but I'm yet to find that point. And Tom, that looks good for the camera, right?
Perfect.
There we go. Alright, so enough of that. Bring it around again, and it's ground handling time and landings, which I found to be a lot of fun with this model. Now, with the Oleos, they work perfectly, very, very well, handles very nicely. Now, at this point, on the just before the downwind turn, I have mid-flaps on and the gear goes down. You'll notice, hopefully you can see, I've always got the nose in a downward pointing trajectory, if you like. Now at this point I'm at half throttle, I go to full flaps. Keep the nose down, that's my phone ringing, so we'll just talk on through that, and I'm going to flare now. That was a bad one. Alright.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Go again. That was my family calling. Family does come first, but it can be annoying when you're in the middle of a landing approach. Alright, I'm going to taxi around again. Again, holding up full elevator and in high rates. It is very peppy on the throttle, so if you want scowl, do take it easy on the throttle. It's got a lot of power. Alright, let's do another scowlish takeoff, then we'll go right into the landing approach again, Tom.
Good.
And let's see if we can finally get these landings
Get to
on
right
camera.
landings.
Yeah. Mid flaps, all low rates, opposite rudder, easing off. Pussycat. Gear goes up, I'll give it a nice clean airframe to approach. Opposite rudder in the turn again there. Okay, so now I'm on the downwind leg. I'm nice and level. I'm going to put the gear down. Here it comes. Mid flap before I turn in. And then, using rudder again, I don't want to be banking too much. I want to use the rudder in the turn, keep the wing from dropping over. Now as I come into the approach, I put full flaps on. It may look a bit fast, but it slows down very, very nicely. Keep the nose down a bit. Give it power. Don't cut the power off. Keep feeding on the power, then flare. Now
good.
Look at that undercarriage. Look how it's taking in all the bumps in its stride. That's a thing of beauty. That's really, really nice. Tom, I feel like I want to do another one. You good to go?
I'm good to go.
Alright. Now, gear is going to come down. Remember, there is a delay on the gear, so you want to watch out for that. Don't be flicking your gear down last minute. Again, I've got flaps in already now, mid flaps. See if I can do a little better approach here, a little higher. Now as I approach the threshold, I'm in full. You've got to try and concentrate on keeping the wing level. Feed in power. I'm actually giving it more power now as it comes in, just to keep the inertia on. And then flaring. Yeah, I could have kept the wing a little more level, but there we go. Now look, let's just see those bumps there. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Look how it's taking it in its stride. Now that is a half throttle takeoff. Excellent. All right, Tom, I think we've clearly demonstrated how well the Oleos work.
Think so too.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to shut up a bit now and just get some beauty shots. You ready, Tom? I'm going to pull up. And I'm rolling out of that. Again, excellent performance. You've got to watch for the torque a little bit, I found, but a little bit of rudder in every maneuver cures that. Oh, look at it! And the sun, actually, Tom, are you seeing that? I don't know if you're seeing it on camera, but as I bank over, that really picks up the detail well. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, like silver.
Yeah. A little bit of rudder there, that's at half power. Now this is what I mean about my elongated flight times. I can just cruise at half throttle. This is half now, and it's wonderful for it. This is half, and give it a little bit more, roll out of this. No more than 2/3 throttle, great. But if I want power, there it is. Do a stall turn off the top of that. Tom, I'm not sure if you can see that now.
What?
Well, there we go.
Too much zoom.
All right. Power off, power off. Gonna come close for the head cam. That's all power off. Now it's power off. So if you are looking for a Corsair, but you're tired of the smaller stuff that's on the market and you want something with real presence, definitely check out the FlightLine Corsair. And I would say, especially with a custom scheme, thanks again to Cali Graphics on this one, it will really stand out, not only at the field with the other FlightLine models, but more importantly, in the air. Because although the shape of the wing is unique with the Corsair, That colour is not the best for orientation. Of course, we do have the light blue one, the birdcage version, which is a very nice and rarely modelled version. So kudos for us for doing that. Gear comes down, but it's a great canvas, it's a great flying model. You can really open it up if you want. What I really like about it, especially on these bumpy European grass fields, it handles so well. Very much like the full size with its sturdiness of the undercarriage. Those oleos are very, very strong indeed. And just land. Look at that, that's a bouncer. And still it survives. Not my best landing. I'll see if I can get another one for you guys. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching. That was the FlightLine Corsair. Just going to taxi it around now so you can see it in the sign-off. Look at that big propeller. Beautiful. And again, you can probably see those oleos. See that? Really doing their job. Was that clear? I think that was clear. So there it is. FlightLine Corsair, available in Motion RC Europe and America right now. Hope you enjoyed this additional presentation. I look forward to seeing many, many more of your schemes on our social channels, whether that be Facebook or on YouTube. You can of course submit to fan media. We'll be doing that with Tom, our cameraman's got an F4U. Speaking of which, if we can pull it off, there may be a little bit of bonus footage at the end of this video of those two models flying. If not, it didn't work out. If it did work out, then you'll see it. But thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Now that the weather is changing, it's that much better, and we've got some very cool products coming. You'll be seeing more of me for sure. Thanks for tuning in this time, and I will see you for the next video.